Time after time, all I keep hearing about is forward shaft lean and compression. Stop getting this wrong, hit more fairways and hit longer golf shots. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Today we're going to give you a tip for both your driver and your irons. And if you want to get good at golf, guys, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. But so often I hear about forward shaft lean. I hear about trying to de-loft the club, dynamic loft, and all the things that people think allow you to hit the ball a long way, especially with driver. So many people get this wrong. It is a slightly different golf swing with driver as you would do with an iron, because ideally we want to hit up on this driver. We want a positive angle of attack, as opposed to when we're going to talk about the iron, which Chris is going to talk you through later on in this video, what a negative angle of attack to take a nice divot. I've never seen a successful golfer take a divot with a driver. I'm putting it out there. So have you? Get in the comments below if you have. But generally what we want to see here is, yes, you still want compression with a driver, but I don't want to see this movement at impact. I don't want to see the shaft massively forward. I don't want to see the handle massively forward. And I certainly don't want to see this amount of loft, because all this is going to do is drive the ball into the floor, and it's going to mean you're probably coming across that golf ball quite a lot. And if you come across a golf ball quite a lot, that's when you'll hit your dreaded slice. And again, this is what so many people time after time start getting wrong when they try to hit the ball a long way. So how do we battle that? How do we change it? One of the things that I want to make sure is, first of all, the setup's right. And if you watch our videos, you'll know setup nice and wide, shoulder width apart, bit of hinge from the hips, bit of flex in the knees. But sternum is key here. I don't want the sternum massively forward. I don't want the sternum to be too far back, because this dictates pretty much where your pressure is under your feet as well. And that's going to dictate your weight transfer, which will kind of dictate what strike you get. So it's all a kind of chain method into how you're going to hit good golf shots. So ball position is nice and forward, sternum's behind that, but it's not backing up too much. As I load to the top of the backswing, I've got my weight on my right foot. I'm actually loading up here almost like a sprinter in the blocks, so that I have something to push off into the ball. That's how I generate the speed. But what I'm not doing is I'm not pushing off and just moving laterally into that ball, because I'm not going to have as much speed and I'm not going to get the strike that I want. I need to make sure I'm moving rotationally. Rotation is the key to speed, and it's the key to hitting the ball there. Is that the middle, Chris?
It is.
There. So if I can do that and keep my sternum just behind the ball, I still create pressure. I still have that shaft moving this way. You can see there's a tiny bit of forward shaft lean. It's not back here. I'm not flipping the club. I'm not adding loads of loft and hitting the ball left, but by no means is it all the way down here. So if I hit one down this fairway, you can see there that if Chris actually slows that, that's one of the best drives I've hit in a very long time, I'm not going to lie to you. But if Chris slows this down now, you'll be able to see that I've loaded up to the top of the backswing, I've got my weight onto my left foot, my hips have rotated nicely, my shoulders have rotated after my hips because my sequence is good from the way down, and I've got a tiny bit of forward shaft lean there that's going to really help me square that club face up, hit longer drives, and generally keep the ball a lot more in play. Now, what do I do with the irons? Because again, so many people say, well, you need to get loads of forward shaft lean with your irons, you need to de-loft the irons. All the tour pros hit the ball a long way because the dynamic loft is so low. But how do you control the ball whilst doing that? That's what we're going to show you.
So as always, great points there from James. And guys, if you are looking for online lessons or in-person lessons, please do drop us an email on that email below. But that is the biggest shot that we see from James there, and what he talked about is when we get the hands and handle forward, because we're being told to compress, we're being told to take the loft off, we see that club stays wide open, we hit that weak shot to the right and a long way to the right. So with your irons, what we can do here is start to get something down there to understand what we are trying to do, because yes, we're still wanting to release the club, and that's what we can start to do with this on a driving range. Once I'm in my setup, ball position is just ahead of centre here with a mid iron, then what I want to start to do is start to check my position. So if I come down into my downswing, into delivery, you will see that that is matching that shaft that is pointing towards the hole. So from there, I want to turn, I want to rotate, and we're going to have some bit of obviously release from those wrists to square that up. And you'll start to see that I will get the lambkin or the grip just ahead of that grip that I've got in between my feet. I am not here towards my left pocket. You see, as soon as I do that, that opens up that club face, and we're already pointing way to the right. And a lot of people then will try and adjust, so they'll start to aim further left, they'll still do that, and we'll hit the occasional dreaded shot, the shank.
No!
Straight out to the right, or we'll then square everything up and pull it to the left. So instead of doing that, let's just start to work on those positions. And then a big thing for me is when people start to work through the golf shot, how many times you see people dragging this handle. This handle would be working across the one that is parallel to my target, and then my club would come across last. We start to see this chicken wing or the elbow come out from behind me, and we start to see that, and then it's a very awkward finish and I don't get any power into that golf shot. So what we want to be able to do here is start to practice that through. So if I was to come down here into this position and just hit this nice and slowly, you will start to see that I'll take a little bit of loft off. I'm releasing that. As I release on the way through, you'll see that this club will again match up with that one there. I've not held this off, which a lot of people do, and I've also not wrapped it round to try and rescue that. So just having these things down on the ground on your driving range is going to help you get a better understanding of where this club wants to be just ahead of that grip, not too far forwards, and then on the way through as I turn, that will start to match up with that shaft nicely, and we'll start to see that there is a release. We are releasing that, but by getting the correct sequence, we'll be able to bring that club in. I'll rotate my body, club starts to release here, so we get the speed out into the golf ball, and that is the position we're in. If you think a good drill for you to do to see if you are somebody who is holding it off is turn your club upside down and make some swings. If I make a swing here and I hold it off, you can't hear much sound coming from the end of the club. Whereas if I go the opposite and I start to release that club head, you can see there is a lot more speed and a lot more sound down at the golf ball. And that's what we want you to have. The more we hold it off, not only are you hitting a glancing blow, but you're also taking speed out of it. So once we've got this set up and you're on the driving range, this can be down every single time. We're going to be able to start to make swings and get some feedback. And again, using Superintendent John's perfectly striped up fairways here to check my divot, I can start to see there a good strike. Let's relate that now to the centre line for John before I go and repair that. You can see that's matched up nice and neutral. I'm hitting down into that golf ball, I'm taking a little divot, and that was just left of the flag. So nice and easy there. It came out nice and low, but that's because of my weight transfer, not because of me trying to hold that club off. I'm getting my body working better so I can consistently hit good strikes, take little divots, and help you get good at golf.